In today's video, I'm going to be focusing on the preparation and post-care before and after a male back wax. The reason we're going to focus on this is because the male back tends to break out within 3 to 5 days after having a wax for various different reasons. The male skin, particularly on the upper back, is particularly sensitive, but also we're dealing with terminal hair with quite a big root, and sometimes the follicle wall is split once removing the hair. Blood spotting is very prone on the area. I'm going to do an explanation of how the blood spotting can then go on to become an irritated follicle towards the end of the video, and this will demonstrate in depth how to prevent the breakouts occurring after a male back wax. So the first really key step is going to be your preparation for the skin. And we're going to start with the Outback Organics Gel Cleanser, and that's going to be used in the gloved hand. The Outback Gel Cleanser has got rosehip, it's got bush mint, and it is a product that's antimicrobial. So we integrate cold pressed lemon myrtle into the product, which naturally sterilizes and cleans the skin. So we're going to work the gel cleanser in with and against the hair. Once we've done the gel cleanse, we're then going to use the Outback Organics botanical oil. This has got an organic argan base, and it's a tiny molecule that's designed to absorb into the follicle. So we want to create the softness within the follicle so that it can release the hair without damaging the follicle as it leaves. So we're going to work this in the same as we did the gel cleanser, with and against the hair. And then we need to take a tissue and take the excess off. And what you'll notice is there won't be a lot of the residue that comes off on the tissue because the skin has absorbed most of the oil. So we're just going to go all over the back to take any residual oil and remove it from the skin. So during the treatment, what you're going to observe is I'm going to be using the Outback Organic Strip Wax on the lower part of the back, and then I'm going to introduce the peelable wax to the upper part of the back, which tends to be the more sensitive for breakouts. The peelable wax shrinks onto the hair and it doesn't adhere to the skin, so there's less possibility of irritation using the peelable wax. So the final stage of the treatment is going to be the most important, which is your post-care. But before I go into how to do the full back post-care, I just want to highlight this area here to talk about blood spotting. Now, this client waxes frequently, so blood spotting doesn't tend to occur so much. But if you have a look at this area here, you can see a slight example of a hair that's been pulled out in the anagen phase, and with it, it brings out body fluid in the way of blood spotting or plasma. And what this does when it reaches the surface of the skin is it collects from around the follicle entrance and it seeps back down into the follicle, and this is where it can cause a follicle irritation, and that could lead on to an infection within the follicle. So the next steps are going to be to finish the skin, clean the skin, and treat the skin for healing and repairing after a back wax. So the first step is going to be to reuse the Outback Organics Gel Cleanser. This is our first step in our aftercare. And we're just going to do that in the gloved hand. And exactly how we did at the beginning, we're just going to work the product in. And this will deal with all of those blood spot areas. It will remove it from the surface of the skin. We're not going to remove anything. We're just going to work that really well in. The next step is going to be the post-wax spray. And this is a water-based product that's got a high amount of lemon myrtle. And this product is going to be your preventative. This is going to prevent an infection occurring in your client's hair follicles, and this would definitely be the #1 product for them to take home to use as home care for the next 3 days after a wax. Just going to work that in, leave that on the skin, and then we're going to finish with something that's going to soothe and cool the skin, which is our aloe gel. And that will also be used in the gloved hand. Men don't tend to like any residue product on the skin once they finish. So anything cream based, I wouldn't advise using. This tends to evaporate off the skin, so there's no sense of residual product on the skin. I hope you found this video helpful. The last bit of advice I would suggest you give your clients is what they do with their skin after they leave you. So it's quite important, if they are going to have a shower that evening, that they don't use any soap, they don't use the water too hot, and I would recommend that post-wax spray for them to apply after the shower for the following 3 days. That will just extend the prevention for any breakouts that might be tempted to occur on the upper back.